has been defined in different terms, but there are key issues that compress the entire understanding of marketing. And that is the value creation process, which it intends to meet the needs and wants of consumers or customers. So from that definition, you'll understand that marketing is not just a single activity, it's a multiplex activities. It includes things like product itself, and the product. There are several issues around the product. It includes the aspects of the pricing. There's a different mechanism of how we price product. We have dimensions of distribution. There's actually a joke between the people in supply chain and marketing. And the saying is that the supply chain is the daughter, or is the son of marketing. So there is a dimension of distribution, how we distribute our product. There's a dimension of how we communicate our products, and that is a promotion mix, etc. But when we look at the broader term of marketing, it doesn't not only end in product. There's a service dimension on it. So we have other dimensions that surrounds marketing, and this is the place, the physical evidence. How do you create a space which attract service ecosystem? There are processes also which are involved, and also there are people dimension. How do we make people side to align with some marketing objectives? And of course, you could view marketing from different angles, but bottom line, in boiling all these dimensions, it comes to one key aspect: is how do we create value, deliver it, and sustain it? And the big question is, what is that value? Definitely. So you'll understand that value is something that you don't define as the producer of value. For example, if I give you water, I might think maybe this water is very important. But the perceiver is the one who says this is very important. Now, that understanding of the concept of how we create value is the one that is actually created the entire understanding of marketing. Because before we had different concepts. It started with an era of product, a product concept, where our focus was to have physical product and make sure that the product has nice features and everybody will be able to buy these features. But of course, it reached a point where we had quite developed systems of production. So the product was not really that much crucial. Then it went to the concept of selling, and selling is quite much older than marketing itself. And the thinking around selling is that we have these products, we have these fantastic things that we produce for ourselves. How do we push them to make sure that people are buying? But of course, even with selling, there was limitations because it was kind of a pressurizing activity, trying to make sure that people are buying without necessarily understanding the other side of the picture. So that actually moved to the understanding of something which happened around 1950s, which was fundamental transformation of markets. We moved from the seller, we moved actually from focusing the buyer, and then we went to focus on the people who are actually behind the service. So we moved from just we as sellers went to who are those buyers. So when we look at who are those buyers, that's when we started defining what do they want. All right. So what do they want is, I might think that you need water, but before I even design this, I have to make sure that this is what actually is needed in the market. So the dimension of creating value, that's where it started. That we start from what is important for those people we are calling our customers or our clients. And that also, the understanding of the concept of value behind market is actually what drove the thinking around satisfaction. Because if I say that I'm satisfying my customer or I'm satisfying somebody, I must understand where does that concept of satisfaction comes from. And now that satisfaction comes from us being able to calibrate the expectations of customers. And that expectation is the meaning of value that is defined by a customer. And what actually differentiates one organization from the other, one company from the other, is how do they capture the understanding of the concept of value and calibrate that in terms of delivery.
Yeah.
And in most cases, we tend to assume, as long as we produce the right thing and we've delivered to the right people we want, then the work of marketing is just stopped.
Done. Yeah.
In fact, the work of marketing has actually started when we actually deliver the product. So I had a book which I'm actually releasing. I think this upcoming. It's actually in the production right now. It's called Leading Service, and of course, it's coming from the understanding of marketing, and to help executives on how they can drive the concept of value creation. You know? Because it just don't end by when we deliver the products and services. So from when we deliver the product and services, that's when we are starting the new cycle of the marketing curve. Where is what was the reaction? What was the satisfaction? What went wrong? What went well? And how can we actually learn from this and create something much more superior, to our organizations or to our customers? So being able to learn, being able to listen, being able to care and pay attention to details is actually what differentiates one market from other, one organization from the other.
Yeah, I think you touch a strong point, and most of the people now, they at least understand the marketing and the value into it. But the major thing also, cycling back based on the people which we have, and they're actually looking up to you, Professor, as an inspirational, but they want to know, okay, so you see, maybe I want that roadmap which the professor have taken it, and they become the person you have become. So going back to your early beginning, especially on the learning part, what kind of key things which drive you to choose being a marketer? Because you see, most of the families, they choose what their kids they have to do, and they don't give a room for the kids to, now based on the things and the content and the passion they have, in order to choose the path which they are. That's why you see in the marketing industry right now, especially in the agency, you'll find out someone studied law, someone studied finance, someone studied a lot of non-marketing activities or courses, but now they're inspired to become marketers. And you see now, even in the future, we are talking about the content creator and things around that. So what is the journey for someone to become a good marketer? But also in the key of the learning part, what are the courses which maybe are available currently in our universities, which maybe at least someone in the future who want to become a marketer, and maybe now they're in secondary school, or maybe a family or parents who are now listening, they want to understand that so that they can convince and they can convert their students, or maybe they can convert their daughters and to become the marketers. What are the road and the do and don'ts for them to become passionately marketers?
Yeah, thank you very much. Kind of a detailed question, but I'll try to bring the key dimensions into that.
Yeah.
Coming to my journey itself, my father had wished me to study something else, and that was not his choice or priority. But I believe on the path that one think. Before. During my secondary school, I took physics, chemistry, and mathematics. So I was passionate to be maybe an engineer or something. And then I went to a journey of personal reflection of the understanding of the fact that things which people do has to relate to their core of what they're passionate about.
Yeah.
So I took a different twist. With a bit of more passionate side of it, without that much deep understanding.
Yeah.
But I think there was a dimension of instinct. In some universities they do have proper programs where they will bring you in. You come, you want to be an architect, you want to be an engineer, but they will actually study you and ask you some questions. From the questions they ask you, they'll ask you, you are actually fitting on the side of the marketing dimension.
Yeah.
So there's a part which is personal, the attribute of a person itself, but there's also the part which is related to the content, that knowledge dimension. So when it comes to the pathway, first of all, somebody has to be inspired to understand what is required into that. At the end of the day, there's so much value one gets from doing something that is passionate. So that's the thing. They have to do a bit of self-discovery and do a bit of a studying to understand what is required to be of a marketer, from the acquisition point, inquisitive point of view. But secondly, there's a dimension of content. That is a bit of the understanding, the knowledge acquisition process. So the marketer has to understand different things. There's no really complete marketer who does not understand multiple dimensions. You have to understand dimensions of finance. You have to understand things related to technology. You have to understand production, distribution. You need also to understand personal psychology. You need to understand, analytics. So you need to have different skills. There are different skills that are required for a marketer, and as I said, these skills are multiple and multiplex. So we don't train a marketer to be one stream focused. So the marketer needs to have a concept of understanding of finance. He has to understand technology and its applications, whether it's a digital dimensions, not within this specified field like content or creatives, but of course they have to have a broad understanding. He also have to get an understanding of sales, the concept of sales, the concept of understanding of management, like general dimensions of management, because he'll be leading teams. He also needs to understand the economics. He has to interpret the numbers and make sense of how he analyzes market, make